It's that time of the day. Yes, it's Talking Pints. I'm joined by English film producer Andrew Loveday. Andrew, welcome to the programme.
Nice to meet you, Nigel.
Good to meet you.
Cheers.
Now, it all starts off on that unique place, Canvey Island. That's where you're raised, and that's where you start painting, decorating, and doing a variety of things.
Yeah, I mean, I started way back in... Well, I was born in Dartford, and I came to Canvey Island. My parents moved me out there many, many years ago. Went to school there, didn't do very well, and then left school there, ended up working with my father and my brother in the building industry. And then, lo and behold, as if by magic, I get a job in a film company.
How?
I was painting an office in Shoreditch, Taxi City. And there's a guy there, and he said to me, "You are wasted doing this. Why don't you come work for me?" And I said, "Oh, okay, what do you do?" He said, "I sell dreams." So, and that was the start of it.
And that was enough.
That was the start of it. And then I worked for the company, and then 2-3 years later, myself, my father, and my cousin, we set up our own company called Carnaby Films.
Yeah. And what on earth made you think, as somebody still very new in the industry, that you could succeed with this?
Well, we didn't. We muddled through it. Our first film, which was a film called Lighthouse Hill, we made. It was so bad that we had a big premiere in Leicester Square, and we said, "What we're going to do?" Because once everyone sees this film, they're going to hang us. And there's only one of the guys in the office said, "Look, my mother knows Princess Michael of Kent. Get her along. She might take, the edge off it." So she comes, wins the flags, Leicester Square. Film finishes. It's like tumbleweed. Everyone's like, we're sinking and think, "Oh my God!" And she gets up and she goes, "Bravo, bravo!" And all the investors got up and said, "Bravo!" And then it went from there. And then we went off and we made another film called Spivs with Ken Stott and Nick Moran and Kate Ashfield, and then went on to make a World War II film with Billy Zane and Alexander Skarsgård. And Spivs, our first film, we gave Rita Ora her very first ever job in film as a young girl.
You've made a lot of films. 43
movies, yeah.
But one real cult hit, Rise of the Foot Soldier, and you're now on film number 6, I think you said earlier.
Film number 6, yeah. We're editing it as we speak now. And
it's a docudrama, isn't it? Because it...
Well, yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, it's based on these characters that were the real in life, and then these guys end up tragically getting killed in Rettendon back in 1995. And after the first 2 movies, there was such an appetite for the brand and the stories. We then took a licence to then start taking these characters and moving them on another journey within the period before their deaths, of some fact, some fiction. Obviously, we're making, we've got to entertain people. And that's when we went off and started making the films, and they kept coming bigger and bigger, and more successful and more successful.
And now a cult following, basically.
A cult following, yeah.
And that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
But, you see, I mean, we think of Hollywood and the big money and the big rah-rah. The British film industry is a tiddler by comparison, but it's got a very loyal following, hasn't it? Very
loyal following, especially in the British independent side. Because a lot of films that you see that get made here in England, they're made from American companies or studios. So to have an independent film, I mean, it's so hard to make a film for under £1 million.
Yeah.
It's ridiculously hard, because obviously you can't get the talent, you can't pay for the talent. So you've got to try and make a film that's going to strike in the public, that's something they want to see.
Well, it's certainly... We just showed a few shots, and by the way, if anyone didn't like the violence, we're sorry. But it's... yeah. But it's that cult follow, it's that repeat buyer thing that's really important for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a repeat buyer thing, and I think what it is we go right way back to why there is such a great following on this genre, is if you go right back to the Craze films.
Well, this is what fascinates me. What is it about us, or lots of us, we seem to love the whole underworld. We almost see gangsters and criminals as being quite attractive people.
Yeah, I mean, it's glamour. I mean, the modern-day villain today is not glamorous, right?
Right. Well, Ronnie and Reggie, glamorous.
Of course they were glamorous. I mean, they surrounded by... Look, there's one thing you can't do, no matter how much money you've got, no matter how much notoriety you've got, and how much of a violent criminal you are, what you can't buy and can't get is fame. So what they would do back in the 60s, and a lot of these criminals would associate themselves with fame. One, to legitimise themselves and their businesses, and the fame and the glamour was associated with the criminal underworld. and that's why it became this very, very sexy story and very, something that people look and aspire to and go, wow, what the days of that 60s London, going out with these guys in the casinos and the Jags and that. It was glamorous.
And yet the truth is, I mean, for all the glamour that people see in the craze, they could be pretty nasty, couldn't they?
Oh, of course, exactly, yeah. I mean, they used the glamour to hide their criminal background. But I mean, that's why I think the attraction to a lot of these British old school gangster films of that sort of genre is the glamour.
I think it's really interesting. Now, you are, Andrew, you've got more films coming out, you're busy as hell,
yeah.
I can tell, but a whole new departure for you, and this is really interesting. Mm-hmm. The world of film has been around 120 years, or whatever it is, and of course now it's not just in the cinema, you're streaming, of course, on the platform. Which is best for you, the streaming or the cinema?
Well, the streaming has become the new DVD.
Yeah.
Because DVD's dead.
Yeah.
So the new streamers come in, and there's a new streamers popping up all the time. Now, Paramount, Lionsgate. So they become the new... so if Netflix buy your film, 18 months later they don't want it, Paramount will buy it, because everyone wants to see it on their platform. So it becomes the new DVD format.
Yeah.
Cinema is a very big risk, because if you get it wrong, you have to spend lots of money, and you only get a small percentage of the cinema takings. So if you spend £1 million on a cinema, prints and advertising, if you get your money back, cinema takes 70% of that. So it's a big risk. But you need the cinema for the shop window to be able to go to Netflix or to Amazon and go, it's been at the cinema.
So it all kind of works together, really?
It all works together. It's a lost leader. It's been at the cinema, so this is why you've got to give us this big number.
Yeah.
So
tell me,
it's a business.
Have you made good money out of all this?
We've done very, very well out of it, yeah. Our investors have done very well out of it. Some films you win, some films you lose. But we structure all of our investments for the government-backed scheme of the EIS.
EIS, yeah, which is actually one of the few good things the government's done, to allow people to put venture capital with some big tax breaks.
Well, it funds the economy. Yeah. It gets people, rather than putting the money in their savings, give it a go, invest in this new company. If it works, great, you can get tax-free dividends for success. If it doesn't, we'll let you offset it the following year.
It's a terrific scheme.
It's a brilliant scheme.
Yeah, no, I often criticise the government on this programme, but I think that's something they've got absolutely right. Scheme. But you're about to go into a whole new world, the world of gaming.
Gaming, yeah.
Which is just humongous in size. Even takes people's lives over, which may not be a good thing. Tell us what you're up to.
So what we've done now, we've set up an old retro arcade version of like a Streets of Rage type game, and we've turned it into Rise of the Foot Soldier mobile game. And so you can play Pat, Tony or Craig, Rolf. Within the game, you can choose different levels, easy, and you go through this journey of 6 or 7 worlds. And it's a game for mobile apps. It will start there. We will test the market with that. And if the game's successful, we'll go on to do some more levels. But the great thing about it, we're going to get a new audience that never received or ever seen Foot Soldier before.
So you can sit there on the train and play the game.
Oh yeah, and it's marketed to our audience, which is white van man, guys in their 35s, 40s, come from the 90s, and that sort of genre, and love the films, and they go, wow, I can play this on my mobile phone on the train or sitting in traffic.
No, don't encourage that. But yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, so that's the thought behind it, and who knows, if it gets successful, it could be a PlayStation, it could be a new Grand Theft Auto, Rise of the Foot Soldier.
You're giving it a go. More films to come.
More films to come. The next one will be out in October, and we've got a big premiere tomorrow night for re-releasing the very first film, which was 16 years ago. We made that film. That's being released tomorrow night, and it's going to be out across the whole country again, available on Sky and all across all different platforms and at the cinema, so you can watch it all go back to where it started again in 2006 and 2007.
Andrew, well done.
Nigel, good to see you.
Fascinating. Thank you.
Thank you.